It's like one of my children right now.
I got it in right before.
Yeah.
I got the bite in right before we moved on, but now I have to
Yeah,
chew it.
he got the bite in. Jimmy, did you check your internet? Jimmy, did you? I'm just
It
kidding. I
sucks,
think
right?
you're okay right now.
No, I can tell you it's going to suck.
I'm
But
psyched
go on.
about that too. I think everything
That's going to be
is
a good
going
show.
to. I think it's going to be good. So rematch of opening night. First look we had of the Celtics was against this Knicks team, and they were extremely pesky on opening night. It was a tough win. I think a lot of people went in expecting like the Celtics to just flex and everybody to fall at their feet. And same Knicks team tonight, pesky, hit a bunch of threes, and plays really good defense. And was in spent a lot of the
It's a Tibbs team.
spent a lot of the third quarter in the bonus. This was a tough team. And Celtics won going away, and it was nuts. This was maybe, I mean, this is the best game of the year, I think, in terms of like start to finish performance, the way that they played. I mean, they won this going away, and a lot of that had to do with, top 5 Tatum showing up in the fourth quarter there, and he was just ridiculous. But they just they took everything the Knicks threw at them. The Knicks emptied both barrels. They came at them hard. They didn't go anywhere. They took leads. They hit threes, and the Celtics just didn't matter. They only played 8 players. They went back to that short rotation, so nobody here can complain about Brissett playing over Stevens. And they were just good. They were good all game long. It was just a really, Pritchard looks better. Hauser, all of a sudden, hitting shots. Everything is great.
Hauser's hitting
Yeah.
shots.
God, everyone's gonna make fun of my Tanguay glasses. I'll take off the glasses, but then I can't see.
Now you can't see anything. You can't read anything.
Can't read anything.
It's okay. I'll do the read.
I get nauseated looking at the chat now without these things.
So, agree with you, John. That the reason this feels like a great win is because, like this was a game where you could see the talent differential because it felt like the Knicks were sprinting, and the Celtics were like kind of in like a not cruise control, but they just didn't have to work as hard to get the lead that they ended up with. Like the Knicks were doing everything they could.
Yep.
Celtics still end up winning this game by 16.
And again, it's fair. There's no RJ
Barrett,
so they're missing a key piece here. But yeah, it was just a good game. Anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, but they still had Randall, Brunson, Quickly, who didn't have a great game by any stretch. And the better team in this case is clearly the Celtics. They looked more in control tonight. And obviously in game 1 of the regular season, a lot more questions. How's Porzingis going to fit? Which, by the way, in game 1, he was dominant anyways. But, yeah, Hauser's shot starting to fall, which is what you prayed for on this bench. That three-pointers looking nice and smooth. Pritchard with a little bit of production. Horford, not a whole lot when you talk about points and such like that. Obviously, he had the dunk, which was good to see him get up for one. But I don't know how much more he's got, I guess, past that. But it was a good all-around game. Like you said, Tatum brought his A game. Porzingis was active as he usually is. And I thought good Holiday line, 14 points, 7 rebounds, but just 2 assists. But, yeah, overall great performance there. It's a Tibbs team, right? They're going to play hard on defense. They're going to try to make things as difficult as they can. They're not going to give up. But the Celtics made a nice little run there, end of the second quarter, with that Brown 3 from Tatum, of all people, to really go in with a little bit of momentum. And then that second half was just more Celtics.
Yeah, I mean, Tatum's up.
Sherrod's here.
I know Tatum's going to get the headlines for sure. But Sherrod is going to get all the publicity from that. But yeah, Sherrod, we were saying, we started saying a really complete win against a tough Knicks team. They play good defense. They hit their threes. They just hang around. And Celtics kind of took everything they threw at them and then just outlasted them. It was a really impressive win.
I think this is one of the better wins they've had this season for all the factors that you mentioned. I called it
the best one. Yeah.
And the thing that I like about this one, John, is that this was the end of a homestand where they're about to hit the road, and they capped it off exactly the way you'd want to if you're a Celtics fan. A good quality competitor coming to your building, a team that you know is going to be better than they were the first time you played them because they've got film. I thought it was really interesting that, among the players that Thibodeau talked about pregame was our good friend Sam Hauser, who has been absolutely killing it. This was the 5th straight game he's had double figures, and that ties the longest stretch of double figure games he's had in his career. Sam was a really, really, really good player.
Wow, stat.
And the thing about it, we're going to talk about Tatum. I know you guys have hit on him. You should talk about Jaylen, and Porzingis was awesome. But guys like Sam Hauser are going to be the difference makers between you getting that on those nights when most of your guys just don't have it. You need someone who can knock down a shot, who it doesn't figure prominently on the scouting report. Sam Hauser is starting to show he has the capability of doing that. He's in a great rhythm for the Celtics. But again, to your point, John, I thought this was such an all-around good win because the Knicks I think this is one of those games where I think the Knicks, whatever their game plan was, I thought they executed it for the most part most of the game. It's just that Boston was the better team.
They did, and again, they shot 40%, 40-something% from three. They were getting to the line. They got a lot of calls. They spent like the entire third quarter in the bonus, but the Celtics shortened their bench. Look, what did we say? I mean, not to belabor the Hauser thing. Sometimes it's as simple as, he makes his shots, he earns his spot, and that's it. But he's playing with overall like a kind, he's playing with confidence beyond just being able to hit the shots. Like, he looks like he belongs out there. The shots, I'm not going to call them gravy, but it's just an added bonus or a weapon. I mean, and that's what he's supposed to do. When you're playing these guys, these specialists, they have to excel at their specialty. Defenders have to come out there and play defense. Rebounders have to rebound. Sam Hauser's got to hit his threes. So it's a results-oriented business when it comes to a guy like him. And when he goes cold, you start to ask questions like, as some people have asked, what's the point of this podcast? We'll ask, what's the point? We'll ask, what's the point of Sam Hauser? If he's not hitting his threes, what value is he providing? And when he is, it's just great. And again, this is another, a few days ago, I think I said it was like the Sam Hauseriest of Sam Hauser stat lines. 5 of 8.
5 for 10. Yep.
5 for 10. Field goals, 5 for 10 threes, and that's it. And here's another one: 12 points, 4 of 6 field goals, all 3-pointers. That's what he did, and he was great. But that's what we've said from before a single second of basketball. Wow, there's some music coming there.
There's a ton of music. They're excited here at TD Garden because they beat the Knicks.
I'll keep vamping a little bit, but all we said at the beginning of the season, and as we've watched through these first, 10 games, is the bench just has to not be a liability, and they're good. They don't have to be spectacular. Some teams have to go into their bench and really get sparks, and they need, that bench unit to kind of, lift them up a little bit at times. Celtics, this is insane, this music.
It is, John. But here's the thing about Sam, though. Before he started knocking down the threes in this game, he had 3 rebounds. He had more rebounds than any other Celtic on the team, and they were really good, hard-earned. It wasn't just him standing around the ball, landing in his lap. He actually had to go in the trees to try to get it. And that, to me, is the evolution of Sam Hauser. When he first got here, all he could give you was 3-point shots. If he gave you anything else, that was gravy. But now he has a little bit more balance. Certainly not equality. He's not going to give you equal hustle rebounds as threes, but there is better balance with his game now. And that is something the Celtics are going to need, because when you start looking at that bench, there's no one that you can look to and feel good about them scoring the ball. No one. And yet here comes Sam knocking down threes, giving you some rebounds, playing decent defense. He's not going to lock anyone up like Drew Holiday or Derek White, but he is not a liability, to your point. And I think this needs to be the Sam Hauserist of Sam Hauser's type of games, where he give you a few rebounds, knock down some shots, doesn't kill you on defense, and you get the win. That's what you're going to need from him to not only win these kind of games, but to win a championship.
Joe Mazzulla, post-game quote on Sam Hauser. He's a much better player than people think. I can't say why, or I'll get in trouble. I can't understand what that means. I don't speak Joe. Can you guess what that means?
I think he's talking about Sam is a better athlete than I think people realize.
Oh, he's too fly for a white guy. I get it. All right.
Sam, when you look at Sam, you think, okay, spot-up shooter, Kyle Korver 2.0. He can't give me anything but the three ball. And then when you start watching him play, Sam is 6'8", about 215, 220. And I wouldn't say he's jumping out the gym, but he's not a guy that you can slip more than a sheet of paper under his feet when he takes a jump shot, put it that way. And I think Sam, he doesn't really make that something that he talks about, or he kind of flexes a little bit because he doesn't want you to know that about him. He doesn't want you to know that he's a pretty good athlete. But when you look at some of the things he's able to do off the ball, you look at the way that he's able to move his feet. And the other thing, too, about Sam, and this is the last point I'll make on this, he's a little bit bigger than you realize. I've stood next to him, and I've been, surprised at how he's not, thick, but he's not paper thin the way I think a lot of people believe he is. And teams are finding that out when they try to beat him off the dribble. So, good for Sam. He's playing really good basketball, and he's earning his keep. And, again, when Tom Thibodeau was going down to folks that they were preparing for, Sam's name was among those that he mentioned. And that does not happen very often. But I guarantee it's going to happen more as we go forward because Sam is giving a reason to pay more attention to him, which is hard for teams to do. Because if you pay more attention to him, what are you going to do with Tatum and Brown and Derek White and Drew Holiday and Porzingis when they're all in you literally have to leave a 45, 50% three-point shooter open or lightly contested most of the time. Otherwise, other guys are going to kill you. So he's added to the pick your poison playbook that Joe Mazzulla has to play with.
I'm digging the music now, Sherrod. You turn it off.
This is the Shaquille O'Neal. This is like Shaquille O'Neal-esque DJing that we got here. If you ever see a show that Shaquille O'Neal is DJing, this is what you're going to be listening to. Hey, now Jimmy, you're back. Welcome back to the party, Jimmy.
Right.
Oh, damn, Jimmy. You returning the music goes away. Ain't that a...
Hi, Jimmy. We see
you guys can't see it where I'm at, but Sam Hauser is to my left. Basically, there's this long line of folks. Actually, let me see if I can shift the camera so you guys can see what I'm talking about. They're all there for Sam. Look at that.
Oh, yeah?
Look at that. Sam shaking hands, kissing babies. And Sam they trust, baby. And Sam they trust.
Check it out. I love it. Hi, Jimmy.
Hey, Jimmy, welcome back.
No,
welcome back.
No.
Okay.
All right, we'll see you later, Jimmy.
Without you. No, but listen, this was such a really good win for the Celtics. I mean, I don't think you can really stress enough how, and we don't like to spend too much time digging in the crates of the past. We're not going to go back to 2016.
Okay.
But we can't go back to next year, or last year, I should say, when these are the kind of games where the Celtics just didn't show up. I mean, they've had 3 games here at home, and typically there's at least one of the games where they're a no-show. And to their credit, they handled their business, beat teams that they were supposed to beat, and they did it in a fashion that shows a definite bond, growth, unity, whatever you want to call it. And these are the kind of things that when you're trying to build towards a championship, you need to have moments like this where you can look back and reflect on games that show how you have improved from a year ago.
So I think that's always it, is almost everything that they do is kind of like a commentary, a referendum on what we've seen in the past. It's always like, and so when they suffer a loss or something, when you see those couple of games, and again, you got to give the teams credit who beat them. Philly's been playing extremely well, and Minnesota also. Minnesota's got the top defensive rated team in the league with those Twin Towers, but you saw them kind of turtle in their approach a little bit, play a little soft. Go away from some of the things that they were doing, kind of rely on iso ball, just jack the first shot that they got. And those are things that you didn't love to see before, but those efforts have been kind of few and far between. You've seen far more kind of like gut check moments, games that like maybe in the past a version of this team could have folded or succumbed to the pressure. How many times you see them keep a team at arm's length but not be able to put their foot on the gas, let them hang around, and then have them blow by in the fourth quarter. And again, we say how many times, this is still a team that won 57 or whatever wins last year. So, I mean, it doesn't have, but we'd seen enough of it to know, and you're judging them on a totally different standard, which is, it's a championship or bust season. So you're always going to judge them with an extremely high standard and a critical eye. And you're going to look at the things that have doomed them in the past, in the last couple of years with the core that they've had. And they look different in a lot of ways. It just looks like a different team. For a lot of the reasons that you mentioned. Go ahead, Jimmy.
This is the same John who just a couple games ago he wanted to crucify this team because they looked like the guys from last year. Now they're a different team, Sherrod.
That's a bit strong, Jimmy. Crucify? I don't know if John quite went down that.
Right.
Jimmy, what did I just say? What did I just say? I literally just said they had those couple games and we're gonna call them on it.
Well,
that's what.
Yeah, but we thought maybe the couple games weren't just a couple games. We thought maybe that these were old habits that weren't going to
this
die.
line for Sam Hauser is getting pretty damn long, y'all.
Let's see it. I couldn't see it before. My screen froze. What's up? That's all for Hauser?
That's the line for Hauser.
Damn. Okay. Hey, you know what happens, Sherrod? You hit a few shots and all of a sudden they're lining up to meet you. That's all it takes.
I'm like, damn.
That's all it takes. Hauser's been playing well, man. I mean, the first few games we thought that he might not be long for this league, but it reminds you quickly that they have a big role for him off this bench for a reason.
Well, but the thing about it, Jimmy, the role that they have for him, they literally said, is there's anyone who wants to score off our bench, by all means, here's your opportunity.
Yeah.
And Sam was the only one that literally stepped up to make some shots. I thought Pritchard was going to be the guy that they were going to be leaning on to get to shoot like this. And he's still working through whatever it is he's working through to get his shot going. But Sam, to his credit, has been incredible. I mean, he came into this game shooting better than 45% on threes. And for the second straight game, he shoots 67% from three-point range. He's been 8 for 12 his last two games. I mean, he's killing it. I mean, he's killing it. This is exactly what they need. And at this point, Sam is a double-digit scorer. Who would have thought that Sam Hauser would be a double-digit scorer off the bench this year? Not many people. But that's where he's at right now.
Not many. In fact, I wasn't very bullish on Hauser because I was worried he'd be overtaken by maybe some more defensive-minded players or players with a little bit more athleticism, because I do think so much of his success relies on just those shots falling. And we've seen kind of a cold snap, and he started in it as well. So we're going to celebrate this version of Hauser because that's the guy we like to see. The line for Cornette.
I got a screenshot. That's awesome. Oh, damn. That was good.
Yeah,
I enjoyed that one.
That was a good one.
That was a very good one.
Hauser's filling in that role nicely. I mean, somebody had to.
How much did you guys talk about Jason and the whole MVP?
I didn't talk about anything because I had internet issues. So you tell me what you guys have been talking about.
Listen, Tatum has had big games, obviously, this year, but I thought this was as close to he looked like an MVP as we've seen him this year. The thing about the Knicks that I love when they play the Knicks are always going to basically try to beat the crap out of you. They are a physical, grimy, just elbow to the chin, neck type team. And how you handle that says a lot about your ability to deal with adversity and pressure. And I thought there was never a point, even as they were getting physical with Tatum, that he seemed to lose his cool, lose his composure, or get thrown off his game. I mean, when they were just kind of bodying him and not allowing him to get to a sweet spot along that baseline, he just took a step back, raised up for the fadeaway. When they didn't respect, for whatever reason, rotate quick enough on a three-point shot, he knocked that down and made him pay. And he still, at times, attacked them going to the basket. I thought this was Tatum doing all the things that someone who is a legitimate MVP candidate should do against a team that clearly has a plan for being physical as hell all game long against you. And, like I said, I think it was just such a really good game for him tonight.
It was a pretty stupid Tatum game, yeah.
Especially against a team like the Knicks, who are one of the best defensive teams in the league, if not the best defensive team based on, the metrics and all the nerd stats out there. But their defensive efficiency is off the charts, and that's to be expected, I guess, with Tibbs head coaching over there. But they obviously, listen, the scouting report comes out, and Jason Tatum's at the top of it. So the fact that this guy is consistently putting in 30-plus points per game nights speaks volumes about his growth on that end of the basketball court. And like you said, Sherrod, it's not just forcing shots. It's not just pouting if if they're playing him too hard. He was going hard to the basket tonight. He had that really nice step back three where he got fouled there in the second half. Was it the fourth quarter? He was just lights out from all over. And we kind of joked about it. Oh, quiet, Jason Tatum quietly, scores 30. It wasn't quiet tonight, though. I thought he was all over the place. Really made his presence known. 7 assists to boot. So, I mean, this guy really is such an important part of this offense. Shock. That's not a hot take by any stretch, but he really is just becoming a much more complete player.
Yeah.
Go ahead. No, go ahead, John, because I was going to talk about JB.
Oh yeah, then definitely you can do that. All I was going to say is how much.
In that case, John will continue.
Jaylen Brown. I got love for you, Jaylen Brown. I got love for you.
One question somebody put in the chat, I think it's fair to ask, is like how much is Tatum's evolution and how much is having stabilizers like Porzingis and Holiday on the court with him, not at all times, but, for so much of the time, just to kind of, if not remove pressure, just to kind of settle things for them. I think Holiday's very good at doing that. I think White's very good at doing that. And I think just Porzingis is just this really interesting weapon that they've just never really had before. And it's just nights like this, you really see it. You saw the Holiday impact. You saw Porzingis doing what he does inside and out. I mean, such an interesting just option. It's the same thing that we, night one when Porzingis came out and he lit up the Knicks, it was like, oh my goodness, and then just Tatum just has a quarter like he has here and just, MVP and, just put him away. I'm just super impressed by the whole package tonight.
This was a master class on what a championship team in the making looks like. When you have so many different ways that you can beat a team, whether a team wants to play physical or finesse, you've got the personnel to match and trump that. When the team wants to lean heavily on their second unit or their first unit or what have you, if they got great coaching, you have the pieces now to combat pretty much any style of play that you see out there on the floor. And that to me is the beauty of this team. They are just that. They are an elite team with guys that can do lots of different things. And, we talk about Tatum's evolution and, with this group around him, Jaylen Brown and Porzingis, that to me seemed like they seem to have really, really good chemistry tonight. And I don't know
best buds.
And I just remember just seeing Jaylen talk.
I'm reading a quote right now from him saying that.
Jaylen was just talking about, just Porzingis and his personality and smiling about it. And y'all know Jaylen is not about that smile game. That's just not who he is. There's not a whole lot that no. But Porzingis, when he talks about him, there's a little bit of a smile there. We may have finally unlocked what the Celtics need and what Jaylen Brown needs to be, dare I say it, happy Jaylen?
Never.
Can we say it?
Shut up, John. I saw a picture of him and Tatum smiling before the game. Shut up, John.
Oh, they're not friends?
Shut
oh,
up.
really? They're not
this.
friends?
But seriously, this
but
was
you're
one
right.
of Jaylen's
You don't
better
see
players.
him being you don't see non-serious Jaylen that often.
Yeah.
And so like him just kind of being like, I don't know, it's kind of weird. Porzingis winks at me. And I wink a lot. I'm a winker too. And I think people think I'm weird. But yeah, it's a funny thing.
They do.
It is. And it's great. It's good to see. I mean, because
some people can't wink. You ever see people who can't wink? It's hilarious. Looks like they're having a stroke.
Why would they try?
Because they think they can do it, but they
want to grow, Jimmy. They want to grow.
Yeah. It is.
I would say, statistically speaking, somebody watching right now can't blink.
Yeah.
Can't wink. You should be able to.
Should be able to blink. That'd be worrisome.
That would be really worse if you couldn't blink. Yeah.
Kevin Garnett sometimes didn't blink out there.
Yeah.
He would just stare into your soul.
Yeah. We got some sound coming out of the garden. We will get that for you in a bit. We got Bobby, and he's got a ton of stuff on his mind, so we'll cook there. There was one little wrinkle I saw in Joe's rotations tonight. I wanted to kind of bounce it off you guys and see what you think there. First off, we're going to quickly mention our sponsor, and that, of course, is FanDuel. Football season, as you know, in full swing. bet against the Patriots and bet the under. That's basically all you have to do, and you'll be fine.
That's it.
That's all you have to do.
Fade the Pats. Fade the Pats.
FanDuel.com/Boston. You go there, you get $150 in bonus bets when you place a winning $5 money line bet. Money line bet just means you bet the winner. That's all it is, and there's odds. $5 money line bet. FanDuel.com/Boston. You get $150 in bonus bucks, non-refundable. Got to use them within a week, but it's just free money to play with. And get back out there and place some bets and see if you can make some money. So check out FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook, official partner of the NFL and the official wagering partner of the CLNS Media Network. Also, if you want to get in on the action and you don't quite know what it is you're doing, oddsr.com/Celtics. You go there. OddsR can help you. It is not a sports book. It just helps you bet smarter using machine learning and AI and all sorts of different tools to just make you make smart bets, kid. Okay, so oddsr.com/Celtics. Download that app, 30-day free trial, and you are off and running. Let's get back into it. Sherrod wanted to say nice things about Jaylen Brown, who has a new best friend on the team.
I do. And Jaylen, I love the way he played in this game. I thought he was in control. I thought he played at a good pace. I didn't think he was erratic or out of control for stretches like we've seen in the past. And his playmaking, again, I thought this was one of his better playmaking games that we've seen.
Combined assists between Tatum and Brown tonight.
Yeah, exactly. That's spreading the wealth. And against a team like New York, you know, that's a really big thing. If you're in New York, you're thinking that, okay, first game they made some shots. Okay, big deal. This game, you played your game and you still got your ass whipped pretty bad. And so now it's like, okay, what do we do now? Where do we turn? And New York is one of those teams I could absolutely see the Celtics having to deal with in the first round of the playoffs or maybe even the second. So the Celtics are showing that there's no one way they can beat you. They have a multitude of ways that they can put you, 6 feet under in the game. And that, to me, is part of what champions do. I mean, we talk all the time about how this season is about winning a championship. And to their credit, they are doing exactly what you're supposed to do to build that platform to be a champion. And again, this was just such a good game. And just seeing Jaylen out here doing the things that we know he's capable of doing, but being consistent with it and not making the bonehead plays that he tends to make every game.
Less is more with Jaylen always. I think when he tries to force the issue, sometimes you get super hot Jaylen games, but other times, you can get sloppy turnovers and, just kind of poor decision making, made too much dribbling, taking other people out of the game. And tonight was super in control, as you said. Smart choices, good decisions. Took it when he had it, making back cuts, things like that. Good. A good passing night for him. We mentioned the chemistry with Porzingis, and this is something they talked about prior to the game when Jaylen said they live in the same building apparently, and they're like this odd couple sort of roommate.
They're like roommates.
They're like buddies. And Porzingis cracks him up apparently, which is great because lighthearted Jaylen is great. But it does translate to on-court chemistry. And how many times have you seen Porzingis find Jaylen on a back door or something like that? You can see it playing out. And here's Brown after the game talking about that chemistry that he and his new best buddy KP have.
Yeah, man, I think we're starting to settle in offensively a little bit. Definitely me and KP has been able to build some, chemistry, and it's still early. We still got a lot of growth to go, so I'm excited. Didn't shoot the ball well today, but made the right reads, found our guys in spots, and we got to just keep doing that. I'm always looking for the big fella anytime he's, in a pick and roll with me. They got to make a decision, so as long as we getting stops on the defensive end, I think we're going to be able to have options on offense. But each and every night we got to make sure we set our tone physicality-wise, and tonight we did that.
And that is happy, lighthearted Jaylen Brown right there.
Big fella.
Electric at the podium. Yeah.
I love it.
But he's in a good place. He and KP they're giving him flowers. He loves them. Yeah.
I'm waiting for the KP Jaylen commercial. They're like Tobias Harris Boban 2.0.
Yeah.
I'm waiting for that. Let's get those Hey, is Nick? Let's get those T-shirts going. Come on,
Nick.
Let's make this.
We did say how having, it was going to go one of two ways for Jaylen Brown, right? Having these additional talents on the team was either going to make him lose his role, or he was going to be able to learn how to utilize them and turn into, again, a more complete player and not have to feel that he needs to do too much. So now he's utilizing Porzingis out there. He's looking for him, which is something I don't think he did enough with Rob. And throughout Rob's career here at the Celtics, I don't think anybody did enough with Rob, whether it was their fault or Rob's fault. But they've got another big guy here on this team that actually is becoming a big part of this offense, and they're looking for him. And it's not just my turn, your turn, as we saw in previous seasons. How many times did we say my turn, your turn on this show when talking about Tatum and Brown? Now you've got all these additional options, and I feel like Jaylen Brown is becoming more aware of his surroundings. How about that?
Yeah. And able to utilize his surroundings to open things up for him. I mean, just like you pointed out, in the pick and roll with Porzingis, I mean, it really is pick and roll with Porzingis, JT's pick and roll with Porzingis. There's a problem that they present to defense that they can't really solve because whenever you're running a pick and roll Porzingis, you have two elite scorers who can score both from the perimeter and at the rim. And how do you seriously contest that over the course of a game? You're going to get burned with that set at least 2, 3, 4 times if you run it as much as I think the Celtics can. And we all know when we get to the playoffs, when the game slows down, the pick and roll becomes an absolute weapon of mass destruction that the Celtics have a significant advantage over pretty much every time they step on the floor.
Josue Pavon in the house. What's going on, buddy?
Yeah, hydrate up. Holla if you hydrate, and he's shaking his head.
Blink. Can you wink and let us know that you're hearing us, Josue? He may not be able to wink.
Dude, it's not him. I had the same issue. It's Restream. Definitely a Restream issue going on.
Relax,
no, we got it. We got in too early. He wasn't ready. He wasn't ready for us.
Ready.
He wasn't fully set up.
Whose fault was that, Mr. Producer, man?
No, mine. I guess me. Am I the producer? Yeah. Don't throw Ahmed under the bus. He doesn't make mistakes. Yeah, exactly. That was on me.
Ahmed doesn't make a mistake.
That's right.
Ahmed's on my good side right now.
He went to your show. We know Jimmy.
I didn't say anything.
I did.
Yeah, he did. My quarterback.
That's my teammate.
What else, guys?
Nothing. Like I said, it's a super impressive game. I mean, like I said, I don't want to get in a Josue wave when you're ready to come on. Derek White definitely hasn't been the same since he came back shooting-wise. Still getting good looks or just not falling. I was happy to see one fall for him late in the game there.
I think he waved.
That was his only make, I think. I think that was his only shot he made.
Make of the night.
And 1 for 6 or 1 for 7.
There's definitely a little chat concern about Al Horford. We'll talk about that as well. We'll let Bobby get involved there also. But really not much to really a lot to like tonight. Josue, what's good from your end?
What's Gucci?
They wanted it more, fellas. How many times last year was that an issue, right? Whether it was the New York Knicks, it could have been against anybody. Whenever the Celtics were faced with adversity, it was like 50-50 most of the time. But tonight, they had so many chances to fall behind by a lot, and they didn't. Because to me, it came down to the defense in that second half. Obviously, the execution and the three-point shots, that's what led to it. But, steals in the backcourt, when you got guys like Jaylen Brown, leading the way, when you got guys like Derek White, who didn't even hit a shot until like the last couple of minutes of the game, but he was still focused on both ends. Like that's what took this thing to another level in the sense of Celtics creating that space that they needed. And then Jason Tatum going into, closeout mode in that fourth quarter. It's just tremendous stuff. And I think Joe Mazzulla, is especially impressed with the fact that they were able to change their approach in the second half, and not stick with the same things that essentially kept New York around throughout the entire game until that third quarter where Boston created separation. And even with the Knicks in the bonus, right, which in my opinion, that really kept them in it in that third quarter. They created the separation they needed in the fourth. And the New York Knicks, man, again, this team just wanted it way more than the Knicks. And the Knicks, they fought. I mean, they played their asses off. So you got to give them credit, especially for what Tibbs is doing with these guys on a night when they didn't have RJ Barrett, who's been killing it lately. So this could have been different for sure if he's in this game.
Yeah, but how many times, Josue, have we seen them with
That's my dog.
how many times, just real quick, and I'll pass it on to Bobby. How many times
What's
have we
up?
seen the Celtics in the past play a team that's undermanned and play like crap?
Right.
And get their asses whipped. And so, again, to me, that not having RJ and still being able to win with a pretty nice cushion down the stretch is another sign of this team's growth. So
I think the way they closed out the middle quarter, Sherrod, is what made the biggest difference, because that was always a problem with this team, right? Well, I guess you can argue that coming out of halftime, sometimes that was a problem. They would just be sluggish and they couldn't.
Third quarters have been bad and they were good tonight. That was
Right.
That's where they
Right. And I think the way they closed out that third quarter was especially impressive because, again, they were in the penalty at like the 8-minute mark, and the Knicks, man, they were getting comfortable at the free throw line. And that's the last thing you want, especially when you got guys like Brunson who could get going, could get hot. I mean, Grimes made a couple of 3-pointers that I thought, okay, shit, maybe here they go. Here's their offense. But outside of that, they never really found it. Julius Randle had, a decent, middle quarter performance for them, but you didn't see Quickly go off the way he has against the Celtics team. You didn't see what's this guy, the guy from Milwaukee, DaVinci. He they forgot about him. Yeah, he couldn't make a couple of shots, and they're like, Tibbs said, "That's it. We're done with you for tonight." They really wanted this one. Tibbs was coaching as if this was a playoff game, So it's impressive.
Yeah. Quickly had a brutal game, 1 of 10 field goals. My favorite play of the night was the Josh Hart bounce it off of Holiday.
Bro, that was straight Rucker.
That was
Celtics fans.
He didn't mean to do that.
Yes, he did.
Yeah, 1,000% meant to do that.
No.
Yes, he did. And that was really slick.
intentional. That was
the second Holiday turned, he was like, "Oh, thank you." He gave it.
I don't think he
gave him
knew
the
it was
assist.
coming. He didn't know it was coming back to him. He just realized he had to throw it off of him, but then it came right back to him, and he drained it.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. That's my point. Yeah. No, that was sweet. Holiday was pissed about that.
Yo, if Holiday did that,
great.
Jimmy, you would have lost it. You would have been like, "That was the greatest play." Holiday's a genius.
No, it was a great play, but I know that he wasn't that wasn't premeditated.
That is a Holiday type play. Like, I give him credit to do that against Holidays.
Bobby, what do you got?
What's up, Bobby?
What's going on?
Did you shave?
Yeah.
Looking fresh, my friend.
Thank you.
Wow.
All that stuff's valid. The thing that sticks with me is something John and I talked about in the first half. They really got great production out of the bench in this one, and not just that they outscored the Knicks with those 3 guys or that all of them played well, which they did. They integrated them well with the other starters. I think you saw a little bit more of 2 bench guys with 3 starters, John, as you like to see out there, and Tatum obviously.
And they changed the rotation a little bit, because normally you were leaving Holiday on the floor with Brown, and this time it was White left on the floor with Brown when Tatum went out on that first sub, and they changed that up a little. And if you noticed, a couple of these games, there were some weird lines where it all looked good, but then you'd look at the plus minuses and the disparities, and Tatum's plus 42 and Brown is plus 9, but Brown led the team in scoring with 29. So the lineup combos with Brown in them didn't seem to be working as well. It looked like Joe tried to tinker a little bit tonight and try a different combo.
Yeah, the one they really liked in the fourth quarter was Pritchard, Hauser, Holiday.
With Pritchard,
Horford. Yeah, and Tatum goes the whole fourth quarter. But the first half rotation, the first quarter one, which you didn't like, that got Tatum some valuable rest early where you didn't have to play him over that 40-minute mark late. So the rotations were good here tonight. You only went -1 in that first quarter rotation, and then you went +8 in the third quarter, one that you mentioned there, where they're pressing and doing all that other stuff with Pritchard out there. Thought Pritchard looked great. Hauser's on fire. Not much more to say than that. And Horford, I thought, has switched well. He's not.
Pritchard closed the half too instead of Holiday. It was interesting. They liked him. They liked him in that spot.
Wow, Horford really gets some high praise. He switched
Horford hasn't played great this year by any means, but the one thing he's doing for them that's still super valuable are those small lineups where he switches. He can still get out on a Brunson and stop him, which is just incredible at this age. And I was looking at some of the Raptor stats, and he's a +0 offensively, but +2. 2 points added, per 100 there defensively. So he's still impacting the floor on the defensive side of the ball, according to the analytics. So, he's not shooting well. He's not making those eye-popping plays that he would in spots the last few years he was here. But Horford off the bench, still the valuable contributor as a backup there. So they're moving in a good direction with that second unit.
Do you feel good about Al?
Defensively, yeah. Offensively, it's rough. He's not shooting well. He dropped that pass and turned it over down low. He's not a threat. He doesn't have great gravity on that end of the floor, and even his
That's
passing
a lot of
hasn't
bad
been a
stuff
big
you just
impact.
rattled off, Bobby.
No, he's,
Yeah,
you
man.
know, he's a plus
He's
zero.
not-
So what do you expect?
You just threw his name through the mud.
Plus zero? Yeah.
It comes for all
That
of
math,
us. But
that math's not mathing.
there's senior moments with Al this year I haven't seen as much. So as you said, kind of
Look at Sherrod's face.
No, but
dropping pass,
defensively is what you're looking for.
No, he's talking about what Bobby said.
They're pairing him with Porzingis a lot, so you don't need the offense as much at that center spot. He's just spacing out there, which is fine. And his shot will come. We know he's a better shooter.
Yeah,
than
that's
what
what I was just about to say that, man. I'm not worried about it, honestly.
But he's not shooting. It's not that he's like he took 2 shots tonight. One of them was a dunk. So it's like
I'm okay with him not shooting at this point because they don't really need that from him. They need him to defend, rebound, be good on switches, and get the hell back off the court and keep the score relatively close.
Theoretically, he should be wide open in the corner like every single time down, though.
Yeah, but theoretically, I'd rather him keep the ball moving if he's wide open to get a great shot. Because to me, if he's open, that's a good shot. I don't want necessarily a good shot from Al when he's on the floor. I want great shots when Al's on the floor. And he needs to keep the ball moving, unless it's a dunk or a layup at this point.
He's supposed to be 40% three-point shooter. If he's wide open, they should want him taking that shot. That's
40%. You know how many
tonight?
His attempts have dropped dramatically, though.
I know.
I mean, that'd be impressive for him to still shoot 40%.
But
right. He's in a weird. I mean, he is in the toughest spot on this roster.
This is the toughest. Yeah, I was just gonna say, like, he's out of all the Celtics players. It might be stating the obvious in some regard, but he has to make the biggest adjustment, and I think he'll be fine. Honestly, I'm not worried about him, pulling it off.
I think Father Time is helping him make that adjustment.
Right.
I think Father Time is helping him make that adjustment to taking fewer shots, playing fewer minutes, doing less. Because to John's point about JB, and I think it's applicable to Al, less is more at this point from Al Horford.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely defense, rebounding, offensive rebounding. I think you could see a little bit more from him, and that's probably where he's got to make his biggest impact on that end. Passing, I still think he can do a little bit of, but it's a tough adjustment. I mean, he's only come off the bench 14 times in his entire career before the season, and now he's doing it every night. Didn't do it a ton at Florida either, if you look back. So it's a change, and I've talked to him here or there early this season, and his general tone about it is don't love it, not to quote him, but doesn't love it, but it's what we got to do.
I think it would be fair. I think it would be fair to ask him how he is adjusting to it. Like we're a few games in here, a few weeks in. What's working, what's not working for you? Is it take a little bit longer for you to feel like you're kind of rolling in that offense? And is that why maybe the shots are down?
What he's told me is when you're starting, you're trying to set the pace of the game, and when you're coming in, you're just trying to be an energy guy. So like we talk about with the Neesmith and Brissett's of the world, I think that's how he's looking at his role. Like just run around, defend, crash the boards, and boom, that's your game off the bench. Like he's viewing it as an energy role rather than being completely integrated into the game plan as a starter. And that starting lineup's obviously been everything for them. Like they're mixing in a few guys here or there when they need to. But in that second half, John, they were ready to let those starters roll in the third quarter until like the 10-minute mark when they finally made some subs there. So Mazzulla is playing tight with this, and we've talked about how they've been light with Brissett the last couple of games, and Stevens hasn't shown his face, Bant and all these other guys. It's just Mazzulla's coaching style. Like he is very, very tight with this rotation.
And again, it's very clear like who's in his circle of trust, and it's just these 8 guys and nobody else. And so like this isn't the night to get in on the bench, but it's still a concern with like you want to see if anyone else can step up. You really don't need 9, 10, 11 players, but you have all these guys there. You'd like to see if any of them have any use for you at all. And I don't know who the next man up is. I really don't know.
I don't think they know either. Yeah. I don't think Joe knows either.
It feels like it's banned.
I don't even know who they want it to be. You know what I mean? Is like you got to have your clubhouse favorites. Like I'd love to see. I like this guy's skill set. I'd like to see him come through. And I know Brissett kind of got first whack, and then when a big is down, when they're down a big or they rotate, Cornette gets his minutes. But yeah, I don't know. I really don't know. But yeah, why so tight tonight? It was almost like a playoff game with the 8-man rotation.
I just think that was the
As
energy,
Josue
man.
talked about Knicks. Yeah, that's the way the Knicks are rolling, right?
And Mazzulla, like he said, he told us after the game, he loved that. He loved that from New York, and I think that's going to happen against these teams that you're getting that second go around under less than a week. You know what I mean? Like same thing's going to happen against Philadelphia. They're going to go up to Toronto for that in-season tournament game. I think they're going to look. It's going to be a much more harder game for them to win. But I think Mazzulla prefers it this way. He's challenging, not back to back, but facing teams in this division twice in the same month or within a 2-week span. I think helps these guys because you're going to get that intensity from opposing teams that have a worse record than you. I mean, Philadelphia is the exception here, but we'll see how they look on Wednesday night, especially 1 week, after their last loss.
You had to play this way to win this game, Sherrod.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, the thing, and we talked about this a little bit earlier, but whenever you play the Knicks, it's going to be a physical game. They're going to try to play bully ball any and every opportunity they get. And I thought Tatum, I thought Jaylen Brown, I thought everyone on this team embraced that phicality and found ways to handle their business and not let it deter them from the goal, which was to come out here to win. And to me, it's part of their growth. The ability to beat teams in a multitude of ways so that teams can't get comfortable with any type of style that they can take advantage of. The Celtics have the ability to kill you from 3-point range. They're one of the best 2-point shooting teams in the NBA. They've got guys who can defend at multiple positions. They now have at least one guy that shows the ability to get you some points off the bench. And so when you're game planning against them, there's really no comfort. There's no comfort blueprint you can go to and think, this is going to work. This is what we got to do to win. And that, because the Knicks, I thought for the most part, played their game tonight. I thought they did a lot of things that they wanted to do. It's just that the Celtics are better. The Celtics they just got more weapons. They got more talent. And they're just a better team.
Mm-hmm. And it came easier to the Celtics. You see the looks that they create.
These last two games especially, don't you think?
Yeah.
Something's clicked, I think, these last two games, where they look a little bit like
last three, really.
I mean, that's what you're supposed to do when you're a great team, though, right, John?
Like very cohesive, right?
Right, yeah. but that's what a great team's supposed to look like after you lose back to back, especially on the road. In the way they lost those games, right? One's in overtime.
These things take time, and that's what's kind of impressive. Is it's hard to judge because some of the early impressive games were Indiana with
they shot the hell out the ball.
And Washington, but they shot like crazy. I feel like this last little stretch here has been super impressive and really looking a little bit more together. Because we said, Bobby, first 5-6 games, they shot well, but still a lot of ISO, and it felt like it was just dependent on the shots going down. It feels a little different.
No, you had some of those pass sequences in this game, which was great, especially to set the bench guys up as we continue to talk about them. I love the way they're finding Hauser, and Sherrod and I during our halftime hit. I told them, I was like, man, Brown and Tatum, they both got 5 assists in this first half. You love to see that. And Sherrod's like, they're finding Hauser, and Hauser's hitting those shots. So he's helping those guys out too into the second units if he's going to be hitting those, and they're going to have the trust to go at him. The Knicks double team Tatum pretty aggressively in this game too, which I don't feel like he's seen a ton of, obviously, given the lineup that they're running out there. And he did a good job finding White out of that, even though he missed it, and getting the ball into the seams
and splitting doubles a lot on the dribble too. He was attacking it quickly before it would settle, and he was able to.
He's been great as a passer, and Joe is giving him a ton of credit for the way he's moved the ball, the decisions he's made. He's thrown around potential assists a lot too, which I know we roll our eyes at, but just to show. He's getting off the ball, and he's finding guys for looks that they might not be making necessarily, but he's setting those guys up in those positions, and he's being a willing passer here. And even Brown, I know you're not going to love it, John, but in those pick and roll sets out there with Porzingis, you are seeing just a tiny bit more poise from him on the ball.
We gave Brown all credit for playing patient and with poise and under control tonight, for sure.
He was good, especially after the last game too. Another good one for him with 29.
Yeah, we planted that flag early, Bobby.
Good. We don't do it often here, as the chat knows.
Hey, I
But,
wasn't on the last show. I'm sure you guys could have talked all you wanted there.
Yeah, man. Don't listen to these comments. Come on. We talk about them plenty.
No, but you're right, John. It's going to take time for them to hit their stride, which is the scary thing for opposing teams. I mean, like Sherrod said, the Knicks played great tonight. They played their game. They hurt the Celtics on the glass. They hit tough shots, took advantage of the second chance opportunities, and they still came up this short, 114-98. I mean, that's just going to be a devastating feeling for them because they played well tonight. Maybe not the bench. I thought their bench kind of stunk actually tonight, between DiVincenzo and Quickly and all of them, but the starters putting pressure on Boston all night long up until the end. And the Celtics just kept finding answers to it. And got to give Joe some credit, too, for the press. I don't know if you guys hit on that, but an effective wrinkle to their defense, getting up at half court, forcing turnovers.
Yeah, a little pressing there.
The Knicks look like they weren't ready for that. The Knicks look like they didn't really prepare for that as well as they probably should have. Because when they threw it at him, it was just like, oh.
Yeah, they're looking at Tibbs like, you know about this? Like,
yeah. That was a nice wrinkle.
That's shame on Tibbs then, because they've done that a number of times this season. They've just come out and just gone full court or just really tried to trap teams in that back court. And so you have to be ready for it. Yeah, exactly. And then it goes away. It's not like Rick Pitino where they just keep it going the whole game. But,
first half press the whole time.
Yeah. But I love it.
You had to be there, Bobby. You had to be there.
Yeah, you know what else we love?
That's HelloFresh.
Yeah,
Whoa.
that's what else we love.
Free?
What? Take it easy, buddy. Okay?
Whoa.
Bobby, we're live.
Bobby's ready to log out.
I'm with Bobby here. What's this all about?
Free? What?
You know I love breakfast. It's like fish.
And we know you love free breakfast even more.
All right, we'll get there. All right. What is HelloFresh?
You're a breakfast guy?
It's farm fresh, pre-portioned ingredients, seasonal recipes delivered right to your doorstep, breakfast included. Skip the trips to the grocery store. And you eat fish for breakfast, Bobby, too?
I wouldn't be shocked.
No, I don't.
I do.
No, okay. Skip the trips to the grocery store and count on HelloFresh to make home cooking easy, fun, and affordable. That's why it is America's #1 meal kit. And what are we talking about right now? The holidays right around the corner, right?
Thanksgiving.
Holiday season is hectic.
Thanksgiving coming up here.
You're probably going to make yourself the Thanksgiving meal, but you really don't want to spend all of your time cooking leading up to and around the holidays, and this will make it easy. 15-minute meals here. HelloFresh is offering around the holidays to get you through this super busy time in season because you've got a lot of errands and wrapping up end of the year stuff. So get down with HelloFresh. Over 45 weekly recipes and over 100 curated picks from the HelloFresh market weekly. We all have it. We all have our boxes coming. Mine's coming after Thanksgiving, my next HelloFresh box.
Same.
Wow.
Because that's what makes sense. But all you have to do here to cash in on this special offer we're offering you here, go to HelloFresh.com/CLNS free. Free, said Bobby? Yes, free. Use the code CLNS free.
You know he wasn't acting either.
Breakfast for life. What?
Yeah,
one breakfast item per box while your subscription is active. As long as you are getting HelloFresh, you are going to get some breakfast on the house.
I seen the waffles.
Free breakfast for life at HelloFresh.com/CLNS free with the code CLNS free. OMG.
Some people love breakfast, man.
They have blown the roof off of this thing.
Free breakfast for life.
Eggs, waffles.
That's an amazing deal.
Toast.
We should do a
Bobby's gonna list
somebody get Bobby a napkin. He's got a little.
He's a little.
Yeah.
We should do a HelloFresh Thanksgiving episode where we're
I like it.
Yeah.
John, lead the way.
Not on Thanksgiving though, right?
Let me know
very
how it goes,
quickly. Rank your syrupy.
It's like absolutely not.
Rank your syrupy breakfasts between waffles, pancakes, and French toast. Rank them.
French toast.
MFK. Are we doing MFK here?
French toast, pancake, waffle.
Yeah. French toast,
pancake, waffle. I'm French toast #1, but I'm exactly in that order.
I'm flipping waffle above pancake. I love the texture of the waffle.
Really? Over a really good pancake? I don't know.
Nah, pancakes are too much for me. Too heavy. Just massive weight on your stomach. Waffles a little bit more.
I mean, I give you credit. Some restaurants, they it's too much with the humongous pancakes. Remember that place in Milwaukee, Bobby, with all the stuff on top?
They
Yeah.
stacked them up.
That's true, but if you get a good pancake though, it's the taste alone. I don't know. For me, it's better than a waffle.
Are you French toast one too, Jimmy?
Yeah, it's crazy. I thought I didn't know everyone was so into French toast.
I'm actually
but I am
surprised
too.
French toast was so resounding.
Yeah,
I'll be honest.
I thought I had the hot take.
Me too. I was like, I'm gonna blow everybody's mind going with French toast here.
I thought everybody's gonna go pancake.
A really, really
This is the first thing we've ever
French
agreed on.
toast kind of is just like hard to beat. You don't
think
want to
you're
get
right,
that
bro.
soggy. Yeah, you don't want like the soggy stuff that's like the buffet line at like the Holiday Inn. You don't want like the continental breakfast version. But you get like a really, really good French toast. Really hard to beat that, man. Hard to beat that. Toss a little. I'll go one step further. What do you guys put on your French toast? Because I put peanut butter, banana.
Oh damn!
I'll do syrup, but dude.
Here we go. About to diverge.
Yeah,
Peanut butter, banana on your French toast. Just trust me on this.
I love how the comments are now pouring in, like 4 messages
on there.
per
Obviously,
second
sprinkle a
right
little
One thing
syrup on there
only.
too. But
Maple syrup. Yep. The real deal.
Yeah, you got to have maple syrup. And I'm
I bet
talking real
HelloFresh
maple
sends-
syrup.
I
bet
keep it simple,
HelloFresh
man.
sends you some real
Just syrup.
After that, I mean, it's a toss-up. Waffles, fine. They're fine. Pancakes, sometimes they're just a little too heavy. Like they're just
too much.
too
Here
cakey.
comes the dispute.
I need a fluffy one.
If you eat 2 pancakes, never mind.
You know it's gonna
3,
come.
Yeah, like that's the problem with
You're done
breakfast
for the
food.
day.
I'll be honest.
Oh
I
hell
don't-
no!
You really listen.
You might.
this
In some places, you might be done till dinner, but I'm not done
This
for
is
the day.
true.
2-3
This is-
pancakes, I'm down.
This is going to be controversial, but you really shouldn't ever touch. You shouldn't even touch pancakes. You really shouldn't.
Well, you can burn those carbs off.
You really shouldn't touch pancakes. It's like, what are we doing here?
Do you know that waffles
wanna
and
know why
pancakes
everyone
are
is
the
such-
exact
such-
same batter and just put in a waffle iron?
I was
versus
gonna
a
say
griddle?
that.
No, it's thick. The pancakes are much more cakey.
Yeah, but
No, they're not. It's the same
I'm
batter.
surprised
Same
Bobby
batter.
said he likes
Trust me
that
on that.
texture, though. The pancake texture is way better.
The only
I don't know.
difference is
No.
the waffle batter is less healthy because to keep it from sticking to the iron, you have to put either butter or oil in it
Spray.
in the mix.
Oh, you
not
mean
the
in the mix?
spray.
Oh, gotcha.
You're
Yeah.
you put melted butter or vegetable oil
Butter's
in your
fine.
waffle mix, so it actually is in fact heavier than pancakes. So what Jimmy is saying is
No, I
just fake
disagree.
news
No,
right
I
now.
disagree.
Yeah.
I disagree
Okay.
with that completely. But that being said,
Like,
I
you
would.
just-
I
you
wouldn't
don't-
need
you
it
don't
anyway.
like you
I
don't
wouldn't
like
need
these
either of them.
facts. Yeah.
No. I just listen. There's nothing wrong with a little butter. First of all,
Waffle
That's
House
your
was great.
But there
Oh,
are
Waffle House,
pancakes
wow.
that are much more cakier and thicker than a waffle. I'll just say that right now. I'm calling fake news on you, John. I think you just made that up. I'm going eggs at breakfast anyways, so I'm not
Omelet.
even.
So am I.
Oh, I'm eggs all day. Yeah.
Eggs are
It's
power
But
food.
eggs.
Eggs are the
Regular scrambled with cheese. How do you do your eggs?
over easy.
We need
Oh,
easy.
Sunny side up.
Give me that yolk.
I get sloppy with it.
a
sunny side
breakfast
up.
boomer can
Wow.
for Jimmy right now.
Give me that yolk.
No, eggs are by far the healthiest.
Scramble
I
with
need
cheese,
an
baby.
omelet.
Scramble with cheese.
You can't go wrong with scrambled cheese though, especially if you go in sandwich.
We
yeah.
need
Now,
more
Bobby,
omelet
you know,
nights at the Garden.
Bobby,
cheese
if
eggs.
you're gonna go omelet, Bobby, what type of omelet? Western omelet?
Ham and cheese.
Veggie, broccoli, spinach.
I go ham and cheese.
Tomato,
Yeah, I saw that. I saw that coming, Sherrod. Yeah.
No.
Western. I used to love. We had a when I cooked in high school. We had a kind of a.
You don't cook anymore?
I know, right?
Mexican.
You put that
You really-
No,
behind.
it was my job. We
You make it
had
sound like it was
a-
PE. You make it sound like it was PE. Back in
Yeah,
high
right.
school when I did PE.
You really shouldn't
No,
even you really shouldn't even eat breakfast unless it's eggs.
What?
Otherwise, you're just
Oh.
eating. You're just.
I
eating.
thought you were cutting it off right there. You really shouldn't even eat breakfast.
No, I mean
Yeah,
you could
yeah.
easily skip breakfast. I mean, if you're gonna skip one
No.
meal, I mean, you could.
I
skip
would
breakfast.
never.
Well, maybe you should.
All right.
Start, maybe
Well,
you should-
anyway, don't skip
Don't skip school or
Right,
Well,
breakfast.
anyways, go to HelloFresh.com.
don't skip breakfast with HelloFresh. You go to HelloFresh.com.
That's true. Yeah.
Comes
Not
full
this-
circle.
If it's free, I
Cash,
mean, geez.
CLNS free. Don't skip breakfast. Get the free breakfast. Eat the breakfast. Okay.
Longest
And
read
enjoy.
ever.
We're
Anyways,
back.
yeah.
And we're back.
But it's
wrapping up the show.
It's like a paid
little,
program.
little Philly revenge game coming up. Anything else you guys thinking about here?
Gonna do some man on the street. Hopefully, it doesn't go as poorly for Josue this time.
Yo, New York was fine, Bobby. I don't know what you're talking about. I loved it.
But hopefully, Josue.
But did New York love you, Josue? That's the question.
No, they sure didn't, Sherrod.
I didn't think so.
Let's see
You
what's
guys
good with
haven't
Philly.
won since 1983. How's that feel?
Hey, I said you hadn't been to the finals since 2000, which isn't much better, but yeah.
Don't go Josue.
A little history lesson. Come on. Shout out to
We're
Miss New
gonna
York
find
Knicks.
some Philly fans and do our best, and it might be more tense than New York. I don't know what to
Bobby,
expect.
keep the camera going. Bobby, keep the camera going.
Philly will hurt you. Yes, Philly.
As far as the game goes, this Kelly Oubre situation is crazy because he was a big part of the setup there.
He's playing really well.
Great offensive piece. Amazing signing when you consider the value on a minimum. And just the craziest story ever. I guess just gets hit by a car walking around by his house, and he's going to be out for much of the season now. So that's a tough
Was
loss.
one cracked rib, right? A cracked rib? Jeez.
Yeah, they're going to be on the second half of the back.
road or what happened?
Oh, you didn't hear about this, huh, Jim?
No, I heard he got hit by a car, but I don't know the details.
So it was the side mirror, I believe. It hit him right in the rib, and the car took off, and I guess he suffered a cracked rib. So
They find the guy?
I don't know. It's a good question, but I'm sure Philly fans are looking for him.
Yeah.
Or was it a silver something? I forget the description of the car, but
don't let Philly find
the hit's been out. The hit's sent out.
Philly fans find him before the popo.
But they're going to be
yeah, for real.
They're going to be on the second half of the back-to-back, just like the Knicks were tonight. Which
Bobby, don't bring that up with the fans, by the way.
I would like to know what Philly fans think about the James Harden situation.
They love it.
They must be thrilled.
Did you see how bad the Clippers are right now?
Oh my gosh,
they're one of the worst teams.
Dumpster fire. They haven't won a game since he's been there.
Yeah, it's messy.
It's perfect.
And the sad part about James Harden is that when he's on the floor, they're like minus 67 or something like. And when he's on the floor, they're like minus 67.
That's
when he's
amazing.
off the floor, they're like plus some ridiculous number. They're clearly better when he's not playing.
It's a clear contrast, right?
Yeah, it's not even like close.
It's hard to debate that. Yeah,
it's just
it was inconceivable how they were going to make that work, but whatever.
I still don't understand what the hell the Clippers were thinking and trying to make that deal.
Crazy. I mean, they didn't give up a ton, but what you gained might have been a negative.
I don't understand it at all.
I'm never did. Understand it.
This might be Harden's last stop.
No, someone will take a chance on him.
You think?
No, he's still good.
They lost.
It's not going to be Saudi Arabia.
It might be his last starting
Grizzlies. They lost to the Grizzlies.
They played
Harden was a minus 28 in 29 minutes in that game.
And the Grizzlies at that time, I think, had the worst record in the NBA.
Marcus shut him down again.
Did you see Smart's play, John?
Yeah, that was hilarious. The rumbling, stumbling, bumbling through the key, and then he tapped it.
That was as Marcus Smart a play as Marcus Smart plays go.
By the way, the kids like to say, the full Marcus Smart experience. That's what they used to call it.
By the way, might have snuck up on us, but 6 days from Celtics Grizzlies down in Memphis next weekend.
Bobby will be covering that as well. Bobby and Josue will be covering the Sixers game coming up on Wednesday. Yep. Marcus Love Fest, so that's cool. We'll get to do that.
I just wish the Grizzlies were a little better, man. I mean, come on. I'm sure we're all thinking the same thing. Like we thought this was going to be
that game.
A better showdown.
Don't sleep. That's going to be a hard game.
They suck.
I think I'll take a nap. I'll sleep. I'll snooze.
Yeah, I might doze.
Celtics might be without Horford for that one too, back to back, but we'll see.
Yeah, you're probably right. Guys, any final thoughts? We can put a bow on this one. We got another one coming back in a couple of nights with Philly, so that one should be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Good way to close off the homestand here with another win. Looking really good, doing the things you're supposed to do, and they're getting better, it seems, from one game to the next, causing more problems for opponents going forward. Good win.
Yeah, no question, man. And keep that same energy. Bring it to Philly. Treat this like a series, and you're trying to even it out after what happened the week before. I mean, look, they're the number one team in the East right now, as Sam Packard salutes me. They're the number one team in the East right now, and I just think that if you're the Celtics, man, you got to just have that mindset, that attitude, that you just want to like rip the other team's heart out. I mean, look at Joe Mazzulla. I mean, it's probably not going to be as big of a deal as what we saw Friday night, but Joe Mazzulla at the end of this one, what was it? Calling the play. What was it? Hack of Who did he hack to put at the free throw line to get another possession, even though they're up in double digits? Like, I just love the focus right now of this coaching staff, just trying to.
It was a hell of a coaching job.
Put the Celtics in a position to be the best versions of themselves. And you're seeing different, you've seen them face adversity, and you saw that tonight against the Knicks. So this is going to be a much tougher matchup, especially in Philly, and against a team that's very, very confident and going up against you. So I don't want to see them send a message. And again, I want them to see the same type of approach that we saw tonight against the Knicks.
Yeah, hell of a coaching job. One of the best I've seen from Joe.
Very quickly, we didn't talk too much about Holiday tonight. I thought, again, he had a very Holiday game, and I thought he was outstanding. But another thing that he did was reach a point milestone, which, as we all know, are the most important thing that you could possibly do. Yeah, here it is.
It's cool, It means that I played long enough.
Yeah.
Or I played for a long time. But it's cool. I didn't know it was coming. I should probably tune in a little better. But yeah, it's good. It's always good to get it when you win.
You had no idea?
No. I'm not really on Instagram or anything like that, and then it's not like anybody here taught me. So I'm really just going out there and playing.
Just hooping, y'all. Just hooping.
Nice. John, is this the part where you dump on him for hitting that milestone like you dumped on Tatum when he hit his milestone last week?
Damn.
He's
Jimmy.
Muted. Good. He's muted because he's got nothing good to say.
Oh, I already set myself up for this one on the lead-in, but you weren't paying attention.
I did. I was waiting to you went straight to the clip.
Saying it's the most important thing that's ever happened. Honestly, this is why we play the game for these milestones. So hats off to Holiday.
15 stacks.
Yeah.
Hey, yeah, good for him. He's not on Instagram, so there's no way he could have known that was coming.
Wait, so you had no idea, Jimmy? Yeah, that's true.
Asked him if he remembered his first points. He didn't. 2009. Long time ago.
2009.
Damn.
Wow.
I can understand why he didn't remember his first point. Damn.
Long ass time ago.
October 30th, 2009. A layup.
I was in college.
I just remember that series in 2012 against the Celtics, man. He was a problem. Like the Celtics he was just that pest on the defensive end of the floor. And Celtics did, win the series in 7 games, but that was the last run of Pierce and Garnett and those guys.
John, you always dreamed of him playing here. Through 10 games, has it been everything you imagine?
I love everything about him. I've always been a
You always.
I wouldn't say I dreamed of it, but like
you did.
I dream of this the way I dream of like French toast.
Holiday.
No. You dreamed of it when you had frustrating Marcus Smart's nights. I think that's what it was.
True. Yeah.
That's when.
No,
That's
I mean
That's when he used to start naming all other 29 starting point guards in the league to see which ones we agree would be a better point guard than Marcus Smart.
No, like I said, I've been on that Holiday train for a while. But it's just I think he's just everything he does. Like we said it earlier. He's just a calming presence. One of the things we liked about this team in general was like he's just an impact. He impacts so many facets of the game. It's and a lot of the stuff is Marcus Smart like. I just think it's like it's without as much erratic, crazy, and then just a more refined offensive skill set, so it's almost just like polished Marcus Smart. Marcus did all of these things too. He defended bigs, he made terrific plays, he hustled all the time, and oftentimes he was the guy who had to settle things when things were kind of going off the rails. But, like I said, Holiday's been great. So kudos to Holiday for hitting this incredibly important milestone. 15. He was so excited about it. He didn't even know it existed. But,
yeah,
really amazing.
That's the best part about it. What milestone?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That.
All the best to Rob today, too, who underwent surgery. You saw that in the comments.
Yes. To Rob. Rob's middle name is Successful Surgery at this point, Poor guy.
Thankfully, it was successful. You hate when you get the press release and it says unsuccessful surgery. Then you got much bigger.
Unsuccessful means you died. Like successful
that's
surgery
never happened.
means
I told you that the Tyrod
You just hate when
Taylor.
that press release comes out that says unsuccessful surgery on the right knee.
They're gonna try
Successful
again in a
doesn't
couple
mean like it
They have
went
to
well
amputate.
and you're gonna recover. It just means like you lived and like everything went okay.
Right.
The
It's
Tyrod
really
Taylor.
not that. It's not that right. We didn't puncture your lung.
Yeah.
I was taking it as they're gonna try again. You know, something went wrong. They're just gonna try it again in a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
But I guess that would be the equivalent.
Yeah. So, all right, we are going to wrap again.
I didn't
like
get
we
my
said,
final
we're back.
thought.
Oh, what is it, Jimmy?
What are you
Just-
dreaming of?
It's better be
Is
good.
it breakfast related?
Yeah, it was actually. It was just like eggs only for breakfast, pasture raised if you can. Throw a little grass-fed milk in there. Skip the pancakes. Pancakes are trash. But French toast once in a blue moon is fine. Just try this. Put a little bananas, put a little peanut butter, put a little.
He's
on
like
there.
serious about his
No,
final
it's like
thought
a
being about food.
deluxe
I thought he was
time.
just bullshitting.
What do you put?
I like
Nutmeg
it.
on that?
What
too?
else are we gonna say? We've already said everything we need to say about the game.
Okay.
I don't need to repeat it.
Don't put milk in eggs. If you're gonna
Don't put
scramble
milk in
it,
eggs.
no, never. If you're gonna scramble them, a trick is a scoop of sour cream. Adds a little bit of tang. Phenomenal.
Yeah.
Phenomenal. We don't just throw that word around, John.
It's a high
Right.
bar.
Try that.
I'll give it a try. Sour cream's healthy for you.
It
Just
adds
a
a
little
little bit
bit.
of tang, and it adds that kind of thing that that the
What
milk
about
would,
Greek
but it just
yogurt?
gives it more flavor. You could do yogurt, but the sour cream is the way to go if you're going to do
Tang? Is
scrambled
that like a
eggs.
secret?
You discouraged him from
recipe
using
sauce?
phenomenal. Jeez, Jim.
No, I just
I
want
know.
to make sure he means it. That's all. 'Cause It's,
He meant it.
it's an important word. You don't just toss that around.
Yeah.
Bobby's like, you don't say it unless you don't mean it. I mean, unless you mean it.
Yeah. All right. Hey, couple good breakfast tips to bring you into the through the week here. For those
Yep,
who celebrate breakfast.
Try it out
For
tomorrow.
those who celebrate
Let us
breakfast.
know.
Yep. All right, guys, we're gonna wrap it. Thank you for hanging out with us on the Garden Report, the Breakfast Report.
lot of people are
Support our
saying no.
sponsors, FanDuel, FanDuel.com/Boston, and of course, head over to HelloFresh and get your free breakfast item. We'll tell you
Free.
about it one more time. HelloFresh.com/CLNS free breakfast.
We're
ladies
thinking
and
about doing a
gentlemen.
morning show, John. So we could definitely continue breakfast talk.
Jimmy and I are doing a morning show. I guess he leaked it. We're
7
not
o'clock?
actually doing it, but
Well, there
Jimmy
might be
John.
an opening for an opening for a
Is this
morning
ever
show.
gonna happen?
I would get up at 7 to hear that.
Wow, thank you, Bobby. Appreciate that. While the rest of the world gets up, at
That might be
7,
the
you
biggest
would
lie
join
Bobby's
us?
ever told. There's no way he's doing
Bobby's
that.
like, yeah, I'd get up at the normal time to get up. I think
Bobby's not a morning person, but
that's true because
I'll
he's
believe him.
I'll wake up. I'll get up in the morning and we'll have a text from Bobby. It'll be like 4 a.m. and it'll be like, anyone see this? Like to finish this Denver game? I'm like, no. I'm gonna sleep for 3 hours.
Hey,
Yo,
that's
you
what
wake
I'm
up
here
with a bunch
for.
of messages.
Yeah.
I do it so you guys don't have to.
all right, later, guys.
All
Thanks for
right.
hanging out.
All right. Bye.